The boy painted himself white and ran into the darkness. We let the words, "He may be dead," bury him, bury him. We took his clothes to the rummage sale in the basement of the mission. We put his photographs and drawings in a bird cage and covered it with a star quilt. For 4 nights, voices carried clear to the river. After winter, so many storms moved in. Strangers came among us. They danced. They shoveled in the shadows of trees. Then somehow, we all felt, all of us, for this one boy. So I'm not really sure what that was about. And I was kind of surprised when they did publish it. And more recently, probably 5 years ago, I was just coming out of the ceremonial arbor. That reminds me of a Craig Womack thing in his introduction to Red. It's one of those encrypted things. He says, I was just coming out of the arbor to find Joy Harjo reading my book. Then it wasn't the case for me. But there, what's encrypted is what's in the arbor. Nobody knows. He doesn't want to talk about that. But let's legitimize the book there. So anyway, this one's called Postmodern Res Edge Inhalation, Paint Thinner Sublime. And so I was coming out of this ceremonial arbor, driving from the site, and there's a cemetery in Dunseith, which is on the Turner Mountain Reservation. And there's a guy sitting in that cemetery on a headstone, huffing from a paper bag. And so I kind of developed the idea for this, even though it's a little bit different. Chemical angels ride into this vacant space as walls and windows drip away into western fronts. Post-Depression farm boundaries barely barbed wired together. Enclosed stone pile pastures. A gray horse standing still, facing north. A snort of breath drifting to a rail car passing horizon. The wind hinting the spirit of ice. Night so long, you can only hope. The red blood circling for warmth in your cells doesn't freeze here with the rest of this lost American dream. And then to answer the question about American Indian Lit, I'll just read a couple more and then if you want to talk a bit more. And I wanted to read a little bit from passages of work that's been in progress for a while. So we're all asking questions about what is American Indian Lit, what's the best way to write about it, talk about it. And so I came up with this poem to answer the question, maybe just for myself. And it's called Simple 4-Part Instructions for Making Indian Lit. And it's got a few Ojibwe words in here. Beijing for the money. Take something Indian and take something non-Indian. Make the Indian, indigenous or native or skin. Make the non-Indian, non-indigenous or non-native or non-skin or white. 2 for the Junia. Make the Indian non-Indian and the non-Indian Indian or the white Indian. 3. Make a character out of paper. Write a name with fire or sky, or a combination of color and the names of birds, or the absence of an article with a present tense verb from a limited number of infinitives. You may include prepositions except these: forego, between, beyond, under, over, into, across, beside, beneath. Avoid abstractions, slang, economic terms, hip phrases, or contemporary situations for science. You cannot use, for example, the following names: foregoes hawk, under crow, into deer, values dog, love crane, dances similar, in the middle of the night, red thunder banging. You cannot use a cross wolf, eating horse, bling eagle, has in trust, many shoes, sundew, chicklet. You shouldn't use donut shop, yard sale man, beneath the ground, upside the head. Do not cross, out of position. Don't use big credit, bear pimp, suitcase, ice cream turtle, calls the taxi, waits for bus, bums the smoke, speaks the Bible, running mascara, Saint Muskrat. Don't use graffiti cloud, air flute, telescope woman, medicine cheese, caramel bowl, Mrs. Layups, nice one. Don't use red exit, off limits, or even working man. So maybe take a break, offer prayers to the polytheistic Indo-European spirits of syntax. Describe a smoke or ceremony. Add laughter to fighting, tears to anything sounding like history. Reinscribe Indian, non-Indian, white. Repeat, smoke, smudge, rinse, repeat. Imperialism, conquest. Imperialism, disease, medicine, conquest, alcohol, imperialism, guns, blood, conquest, imperialism. Make language of crossing tongues as simple as powwows for profit, and guying Chevys as complex as Aristotle remains ethical and remain cataloged. Use newspapers, magazines, museum brochures, Skatogan, Flint, and Match. Roll characters, names, words into paper. Rub paper into rolls, or turn paper into rolls, rub with bear grease and lard, or last night's ground beef grease. This will not work with olive oil or sunflower oil. Say 4 Hail Marys, a couple of ahoas and a kawakin. Ignite all of the above. 4. After all this becomes lit, be careful about who you read to. They may be hearing Indian and everything non-Indian, as what remains from fire is not spirit. So.